Welcome to 15K plus random movie reviews, where we take random movies from Metacritic's 15K plus movies to randomly watch whether we like it or not. Hello and welcome to episode 37 of 15K plus random movie reviews. This is Colin.
This is Niall.
And this is random movie number 13,368. It's Dumb and Dumber. We were surprised that it was so low. From 1994, Metascore of 41, very low. User score of 6.0, very low. Running time of 1 hour and 47 minutes. Budget was 17 million. Box office 247.3 million. So it was a very good debut for the Farrelly brothers. And they went on to do other good things after this movie, but it was a pretty big moment in their career.
Yeah, you come out with that sort of financial success in your first movie. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's that's why they probably went on to do quite a few more along the same ilk.
At a certain point, though, they probably should have stopped, to be honest.
Yeah, I never watched Stuck on You or anything. I didn't. It
was okay. It's nothing like this. It's reasonable.
No, I'm a big fan. I like Kingpin. I thought Kingpin was very good.
Oh, Kingpin's amazing. I didn't even know that was the Farrelly brothers, to be honest.
Oh yeah, it is. And I like There's Something About Mary. I thought that was actually very good as well. Then I went a bit. Well, Me, Myself, and Irene was fine as well. Like, it was a bit more crazier.
A bit more, creative, that one, actually. There was a bit more nuance to it. There's a bit of a... Well, again, you've got the same main actor from this just being himself, really. But when he does it well, he's good.
Yeah, and also Me, Myself, and Irene was the Foo Fighters song Breakout, which was based on, or as part of that movie soundtrack. Anyway, so the background of Dumb and Dumber is that there was 50 pages written by John Hughes, he who wrote Ferris Bueller and The Breakfast Club, and he sort of threw it over to the Farrelly brothers and Bennett Yellen, and they sort of did it up and said, there you go. And he said, yeah, it's fine, just don't put my name on it, you'll be good to go. So so Jim Carrey was tied to it. The Farrelly brothers didn't really know who he was, and then Ace Ventura came out and he exploded just around the time when he was probably getting signed up to do this movie. So so he was signed on for $7 million because he was a big dude then. But,
yeah, decided all the Saturday Night Live gigs he was doing. He was quite a big name on that at that time. So I guess that got him the foot in the door.
Yeah, there's names thrown around before Daniels and Carrey, like Nicolas Cage and Gary Oldman as the original pair.
I would have loved to have seen
that. Steve Martin and Martin Short, I think, was bandied around. I love
Steve Martin, but not for this.
Yeah, I think if it was early 80s, that might have been a okay pairing, but this was the new era, basically. So Jeff Daniels wanted to do it. His New Line Cinema didn't want him to do it, and his agent didn't want him to do it. The New Line Cinema pretty much offered him $50,000 to sort of not, hire him, and then he would
have been an awful shame because, in my opinion, he's the standout in this.
Jim
Carrey's Jim Carrey in this. Jeff is just surprisingly good in this. His delivery of those one-line answers to weird questions is just fantastic.
He did very well, and it's weird. Like they got a couple of MTV awards, but strangely, got a Razzie award for Jim Carrey as a new star. Sort of like they didn't really get him, I guess.
Harsh.
Quite harsh. Bennett Yellen, the writer with the Farrelly brothers, he's currently in sort of, in development of a Police Academy movie.
Oh no, really?
Which may not be the best movie.
It's just leave it alone. It made sense in the 80s. Just don't do it again.
Yeah. Anyway, in a nutshell, from Metacritic, two stupid guys, Lloyd and Harry, decide to drive across country from Providence, Rhode Island to Aspen, Colorado, or Aspen, California, to return a briefcase left in the airport by Mary Samsonite Swanson, the object of Lloyd's affection. So
Yes.
we start off bus stop, side of the road.
Yeah, a limo pulls up, back window goes down, and Jim Carrey's head sticks out the back window and says, "Can you tell me the way to the training hospital university thing?" To this attractive young female outside the road, and she gives an answer, but with an accent, and he goes, "Ooh, that's a very interesting accent. Where are you from?"
New Jersey.
New Jersey, yeah. And she goes, "No, Austria." And he goes, put another shrimp on the barbie, which I think is very hilarious.
Yeah, it's very funny. It's a good start to the movie. Like
it is. It sets the scene.
Yeah, there was just the window rolling down to his gormless face and his, his sort of. It's the beginning of a sort of a plastic face movie where he basically makes a lot of the scenes himself and makes them more funny than they are in script. I heard there was a lot of ad-libbing and a lot of things that were his idea throughout the movie. And I think
his plastic face is kind of another character to it of its own, really. He makes the character himself with his weird ass face.
Yeah. And Jeff Daniels pulls a few faces a few times as well, especially when his foot goes on fire later on.
Just give me the goddamn number.
Just give me the goddamn number. So as we were saying before we started recording here, it's going to be really hard to go through this without going through every line of dialogue, but we're not going to be able to do that.
Might be a problem.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to do that. So we're just sort of going to sort of generalize each scene as it goes along. I was quite surprised rewatching it again that it takes so long for them to get to Aspen. Really, like it's really not that long they spend in Aspen. It's like, I don't know, 40 minutes of the 1 hour and 47 minutes.
What's in most of the memorable stuff to me is in Aspen.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like rocking up in the suits, just amazing.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so basically, Lloyd is the limo driver, and then it cuts to Harry as the Mutt Cuts sort of driver, dog van. Basically, it's
it's one of the memories of my youth. I remember watching this as a kid and the dog van, and just chuckling to myself, just thinking how awesome that was.
Yeah, it's a very memorable sort of motif in the thing. Anyway, he's sort of like, he's got these dogs and he's giving them food and everything. He's late for a delivery and he drives very recklessly with all these food things. Well,
he has to give them hot dogs because that's what you give dogs, right? And you got to have ketchup and mustard with that, right?
Yeah. So so we're introducing these two characters and how sort of gormless they are, or aka Dumb and Dumber, I guess. I don't know if a movie would get the green light to be called this in this day and age. Probably not.
Probably not. No, it's a type of humor that's kind of died off as well. Like, it's not as any movie that I've tried to watch recently enough with a similar set of humor, it doesn't really hit the mark. I think this gets a bit of a pass in my mind when reviewing this, because it does hold a special place in my heart from when I was a kid watching this.
Yeah. As I said last week, I think, I remember just gasping for breath at certain scenes as a teenager, and I think it just stands out because it came out in '94. It was the slap bang in the middle of the '90s. Lots of things going on, and I think it was the start of this sort of raucous comedy that went there in quotation marks. It
went there.
Yeah. So I think, again, I'm going to try not to go through every scene, but, we get introduced to them both in their different professions. Lloyd rocks up to Mary Swanson's house to pick her up for the airport and knocks on the door like 100 times, and which I just found was quite funny. And then one thing to mention is he does a bit of a mouth spray thing, and it goes in the opposite direction, and that happens a few more times through the movie to humorous effect.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think we get into the whole sort of what sort of movie it's going to be and how kind of smart it's going to be with the dialogue when Lloyd is talking to Mary in the limo, and just the different things he says,
Yeah. Like, you going to the airport, huh?
Yeah,
Flying somewhere?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's like, and that's mirrored later on with Harry going, "Yeah, your skis, both of them."
Yeah, that had me in stitches again, but I forgot that joke. And again, the delivery.
It's the delivery.
Perfect, yeah.
Yeah, it's just him standing there, like, with his vacant look on his face, filling his van.
With the leg kicked up so he can
Yeah.
put the nozzle into the tank.
Yeah,
That's brilliant.
Yeah, so, like, he's in the limo. Harry gets the dogs to the dog show with mustard and ketchup all over them, and yeah, you're kind of, so he's fired. Lloyd gets to the airport, and I hate goodbyes.
The super awkward hug of
dragging her in.
Time. Yeah.
I think you get to the thing where you just get to the point very quickly where Jim Carrey's going to nail each of the scenes that he's in.
Yeah.
So he's sort of driving along, and he sees Mary Swanson, and he bangs into a car, and the airbag. He has to wrestle with the airbag in his face. Then another comedic moment of genius of acting. And obviously, it's the big thing where he sees her walking away without the suitcase, and that pretty much starts the movie off and what the whole movie is about. It's about them getting the suitcase back to Mary Samsonite.
And they do it with style.
Yeah. So, so you see then, you see two baddies then. I totally forget their names. Why did I not write their names down? And why do I not remember their names?
It's somewhat incidental. The gas man.
And
the unimportant lady.
Yeah, it's like Casey or Stacy or something like that.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter. She doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, well, and we get first sort of, she does a
goon number 2 is what I call her.
We have Gasman is like, there's a little bit of a preemptive there of his ulcer. He has an ulcer, so he's popping back these tablets a lot. Anyway, Carrie slides in and grabs a suitcase before they can pick it up, because we do find out later on that it's money for her husband that's been kidnapped, and these are all involved in getting the ransom anyway. It's okay, I'm a limo driver.
Yeah.
I remember laughing a lot.
Fell off the gangway again.
Fell off the jetway again.
Jetway again, sorry.
But that's just the genius of it. Like, obviously the physical falling off. I remember laughing out so loud to that when I first saw it, and then it's like you see him from above and he's just going But then I think it's a genius as well, as that when Harry and Lloyd meet each other going into their apartment block, where he does say that, I fell off the jetway again. It's the sort of the complexity of
again, yeah.
It's the again bit. It's the genius of, they could have just said, I fell off the jetway. But it's like the fact that he's done it before.
And Harry doesn't bat an eyelid. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, that happens.
Yeah. So they obviously get back into their apartment, and where Lloyd utters the famous thing, "You are one pathetic loser." She actually talked to me. It's describing Mary Swanson's ride into the thing. So
he's got the suitcase now. I think we forgot to mention he picks up the suitcase.
Oh yeah, of course.
Just before he falls off the jetway, he goes running after Mary to give it back to her. So he's got the suitcase. The baddies see him pick it up, and they're like, "Oh, this guy's onto us." So they follow him back to the house.
Yeah,
and then knock on the door. This is just right after this. They were going on about Mary actually talked to me. Oh, you're a lucky man.
No way.
No way, yeah. And then there's a knock at the door, and it's the two baddies, the gas man and the unimportant lady, or goon number 2.
Yeah.
And they look out Harry looks out the spy hole in the door and sees 2 people, and one's got a gun. And I think Lloyd says, I can't remember, I think it was Lloyd says, "Did you pay the gas?"
Yeah, did you pay the gas bill? Like, did you forget to pay the gas bill again? So they leg it out through the window.
Yeah. Because obviously, gas bill's going to get you shot.
Yeah. So, yes, I think then at that point, they're like going. Well, they come back, right, or something. I can't remember now.
They drive around for a bit looking for jobs.
Yeah.
Which isn't shown. It just cutscene back to.
They come back. They come back, and Lloyd goes, "I'm going to go to the store." And Harry goes, "Yeah, get the bare essentials." And he's like, "Oh, yeah." He comes wandering down the road with a bloody 10-gallon cowboy hat and some sort of toy. And he wants to get a copy of Rhode Island Sluts from the paper machine.
Well, it is one of the essentials. Yeah.
Anyway, he comes back. He just comes in distraught. I was robbed by a sweet old lady. Didn't even see it coming.
Yeah, and what was the line he gave her?
Oh
yeah. Senior citizens, although slow and decrepit, can be useful.
That's why she did him in.
Yeah.
He comes back to a distraught Harry, and he's like going, "Well, Petey's dead.
His head fell off. He was pretty old.
Got no food, got no jobs, our pets' heads are falling off."
Oh, yeah. Pretty bird.
So So then he's going, this is the sort of setup for the entire story, basically. The road trip with 2 pals. Want to go where it's warm. The wine flows.
The beer flows like wine.
The beer, I don't know what he's. Yeah. Like the salmon of Capistrano. I don't know, Lloyd. The French are assholes.
Yeah, it's all just there's an amazing back-to-back set of one-liners in that one scene.
Yeah, just a bunch of just like sort of off-center, inaccurate statements.
Yeah, they decided they're going to go to Aspen.
They're going to go to Aspen, but I have to
deliver the suitcase.
Yeah, I have to point out just Jim Carrey, and he does this a couple of times in the movie. He has this sort of emotional sentence where his voice breaks, or he's quite emotional. Like in this part, he's like, "I'm tired of eking my way through."
Yeah, it's actually a good scene. Like as straight acting goes, possibly 1 or 2 scenes in it, he's good in this. But then obviously he goes straight into Goofy straight away after that.
Yeah, I'm tired of being a nobody. I'm tired of having nobody.
Yeah.
And Harry just goes, "All right."
Real emotion. And he's like, bring it in. Big hugs. Stop crying.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. All right, off they go. Jesus Christ, we'll be going through every fucking
But before they get out the door, or as they're driving down the road on their way to Aspen, Lloyd is eating a packet of potato chips. And Harry says, "Where the hell did you get the money for that? I thought we'd talk about all of our expenditures." And he's I sold a few things.
Yeah.
What did you sell? Dead bird. Petey, yeah. And then it cuts to I can't remember the boy's name. I didn't write it down, but he's a blind boy who was sold to. And he's just petting the little bird. Pretty bird. It's disturbingly wrong, but kind of funny.
It's Petey with some industrial tape head.
Yeah, his neck's sort of stuck back on again.
Yeah. Anyway, they stop off and they're on their way. The road trip has started. And
gotta talk about Seabass.
We have to talk about Seabass. It's an important scene which comes back later to kick him in the ass, literally. I didn't get the whole "excuse me" flow bit to the waitress. It was like, all right, but like the TV show, it's like, okay.
That's some
reference,
popular culture reference that I don't know. I didn't bother looking it up either. Meant nothing to me.
No, it meant nothing. But he does utter his statement here that was quite famous to me. "I like it a lot."
Yeah. He does it twice, I think, or 3 times in the movie.
Yeah, something like that. All right, he tells him to throw salt over his shoulder. He throws the whole cellar shaker over his shoulder. And then he
hits
just
Seabass.
he hits
Oh, no.
Seabass. Kick his ass, Seabass. But I love the way Seabass is going, well, who the hell threw that at me? And then Lloyd is just pointing at him, looking out the window, pointing at Harry. You going to eat that?
Move.
Are you going to eat that? Yes, no, yes, no. I was thinking about it. Yeah. Then obviously Seabass hooks
hawks a loogie. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All over his lovely burger.
Yeah. So of course Lloyd then is like going, all right, well let's
I've had an idea.
Yeah, I think
yes, I've had an idea.
I've had an idea. Anyway, they're like going, yeah, we'll can we buy you some beers? And they go up and go, yeah, Seabass, it's on Seabass. And they leg it.
Seabass waves over and says, yeah, over here.
Give me the beers. And they leg it. They, burn rubber and get the hell out of there. Seabass runs out. Very angry.
And then he asks him where he got the idea for this. And Lloyd says, well, I got it from a movie. It was a great idea. Oh, and then at the end of the movie, he gets away and no repercussions. No, he gets his throat slit.
Yeah, he gets his throat slit. What?
Keep driving.
Yeah.
I need to pee.
Yeah. Unfortunately, now we have to mention the next scene because it's also very funny. Pull over! No, it's actually before that. Lloyd has to go, so he has to pee in several bottles, and they're jingling and jangling in Harry's hands as he gets caught by a police officer. Pull over! No, it's a cardigan, but thanks for asking. Pull that vehicle over.
Yeah. I forgot that line. I love that. Pull over. No, it's a cardigan. Thanks for noticing.
Yeah. You boys been knocking back some of Grandpa's cough medicine, have you? He'll shut the hell up if you know what's good for you.
He was in something about Mary as well.
That's right.
He was the hitchhiker.
He was the 5-minute abs hitchhiker. 5-minute abs.
Yeah.
Anyway, he drinks Lloyd's pee and get the hell out of here. Tic Tac, sir.
Yeah. See, everybody listening to this will be like, "You guys are just sitting here guffawing at lines."
Yeah, well, that's
but they are amazing.
Yeah, I can't go past it. I can't skip any scene. Anyway, we have a very brief interlude here where we introduce Nicholas, who's like this family friend of Mary Swanson, and he's like in their family home, just talking about the kidnapping.
You know he's a bad one.
Yeah, he's a bad guy, and that's pretty much
obvious from
whatever.
that point.
Yeah.
Even though at this point it isn't introduced that he's a bad guy, it's obvious.
Yeah, it's obvious. But we have to mention the next scene too, because it's Lloyd daydreaming as he's driving. It's amazing.
As he brings the suitcase, yeah. And
now, one thing I didn't notice in my back then, but I do now. Like, so he's daydreaming. He's having dinner with Mary, and the waiter starts slobbering all over Mary. But I love the way the waiter, and I didn't notice this before. He just drops Lloyd's plate, like just roughly in front of him, and just places her plate so smoothly, and then starts
it is
kissing
actually
her hand.
Well shot, that bit. A bit nuts, like.
Yeah.
And I may have seen this, but in the previous scene of the dream, where she's and he are sitting around with a bunch of friends wearing Xmas jumpers.
Yeah.
I think I seen Will Farrell in the background just for giggles.
Really? I didn't.
Yeah, as one of the jumper wearers. I hadn't had time to Google it and make sure I'm not talking out my ass.
It's possible. It's possible.
It is possible.
There's no mention of him. I looked up a lot of trivia today about Dumb and Dumber, and I don't see him mentioned.
Maybe it was just a Will Farrell lookalike.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, the whole restaurant scene, dream sequence is amazing, like Bruce Lee. But again, it's Carrey carrying it. He's just doing all these weird sort of movements and noises from his mouth, and just crazy and amazing.
They just let him go and just you be you, and he fills like 4 or 5 minutes of him just jumping around the place like a lunatic.
Yeah,
which works.
Yeah, like that's nobody else could have done that. He was perfect for it. And so obviously he rips the guy's heart out of his chest in the dream, puts it in a doggy bag, of course. And then there's this whole what Lloyd's impression of a passionate kiss is basically engulfing her entire face.
Yes, sucks her entire jaw in there.
Yeah, and he wakes up because her breasts are truck lights, and He's,
and
yeah.
a bit of a nod to planes, trains, and automobiles.
Oh yeah. True. What? Yeah, that must have come out before this one, obviously, in the 80s.
Way before this. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing they took a bit of inspiration from that buddy road trip. Well, not really buddy road trip, but
No, enemy road trip.
enemy road trip.
Frenemy, sorry.
Anyway, we get into this motel, which, strangely enough, or not, no, funnily enough, as Ho Tubs, because it's missing the T on the sign outside. Now, here's what we were talking about this before. There are two versions of Dumb and Dumber, and I read up a bit about this. So there's Dumb and Dumber Unrated, which they're saying is that's what you get on the DVD, and but maybe the one on Netflix isn't unrated. It's just your normal, maybe theatrical release one. I saw the unrated one. You didn't.
No, I seen the theatrical, and so I didn't get the unpleasant scenes that you did.
Right. So so it needs to be said that it really messes up the movie for you if you're watching it for the first time. It's like it really could put you off it because it's right unsettling. And the first scene that's cut from the theatrical release is this hot tub scene where we have this exposition, which is quite important, about what's her name? God damn it.
Harry's girlfriend.
Harry's ex-girlfriend. Frida Felcher.
That's it.
Frida Felcher. All right. But before that, in this unrated version, it's so weird. Lloyd is like going, if you had a set of Hooters now, I'd bang you. I'd split you like a tree. And it keeps going. He says a lot of stuff like that. And Harry is just looking uncomfortable. He's just looking really unsettled. And then he goes into the Frida Felcher story that everybody sees. And it's just so bizarre.
As you describe it, it's starting to sound a bit movie 53 to me. Just
kind of, yeah.
Overly for the sake of it.
Is it 53 or 43 or 42?
Oh, whatever number it is was too much.
It's 42 or 43. Remember. Yeah. And also it just feels a little dark. Like it's a bit too dark. It didn't suit it at all. And I remember sitting there 2 nights ago going, I haven't seen that before at all. And there's another scene later on, 2 more scenes later on that I knew weren't in the first version I saw. Anyway, the Frida Felcher thing, Harry says a story about her and obviously his first love or whatever. But as you can see, Lloyd had...
He's looking a bit sheepish.
Yeah, he had been with her before. She wrote me a John Deere letter. It was, it's just full of her saying, what was it? I don't listen to her enough. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. Something like that. Just funny.
Yeah, and that line is kind of a perfect example of 90% of the lines that Jeff has in this.
Yeah.
Beautiful deadpan delivery of, he sets it up in the first line and then knocks it out of the park with a really stupid second line to follow up.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. So we leave it on that scene. Like it's obviously, it comes back later on. Obviously, Lloyd had been with Frida Felcher and stole her away from Harry.
Oh, just one line from that I want to throw up there. I know it'll take all day to go through all the lines, but Lloyd asks him a question in the tub. Did some little filly break your heart? And he goes, no. It was a girl. I love it.
Oh my God. It's just, I don't know, it's just a simple premise where if you sat down with somebody and went, all right, we're going to make a movie where one person says something to another person and they just take it the wrong way. And that's our recipe for the script.
I think if you miscast it with that premise, it would be an absolute rubbish movie. I think they got lucky with Jeff on this because a different actor would have absolutely ruined it.
Yeah, I think they just got the right actors at the right time.
Yeah.
Anyway, we cut to the phone booth, Hitman, Gas Man, and he's getting annoyed. He's giving Nicholas, the kidnapper
They don't know.
extraordinaire.
Yeah,
A
they've been
update.
following the two lads.
Yeah, they called me gas man on the note they left on the door. These are
They
professionals.
know I had gas. They must be following me for weeks.
Yeah. Anyway, the guy outside the phone booth is like, "Hello," and I knew I recognized him. This guy is an actor called Stoller. That's his surname. He was in. I think he wrote one episode of Seinfeld, and he was in a couple of episodes of Seinfeld. But I knew him anyway. He gets punched in the mouth through the glass by the hitman because he's annoying him.
Yep.
Now
there's some good, excellent scenes. Not that there isn't any excellent scenes up to this point, but
yeah,
he decides the hitman decides, okay, well, make it look like my car broke down. I'll wait and wave the lads down, try to get a lift with them, and then that's how we get them. So his plan works. He gets into the back, and as they're driving off, the two lads go, "Oh, look, some more people needing a lift." That's an entire Mexican family.
Yeah.
And before they picked him up, sorry, the two lads are singing, annoying, and fighting, and he's just going absolutely crazy because they are so effing annoying if you're stuck in between them. And they start singing Mockingbird.
Yeah,
which is he reaches for his gun. He's like, "That's too much. I'm just gonna do them now."
Yeah.
I don't know, no, lads, we can pick these guys up. That'd be great. And they have a guitar and they start singing Mockingbird with the two guys. And he's just sitting in the middle, his eyes wide, and he's like, "Arr!"
His ulcer. He has to take a few more tablets. The whole you want to hear the most annoying sound in the world? That's ad libbed by Carrey as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's very Carrey.
Yeah. So Daniel's had to roll with that one. But yeah, that's just. I think when the two characters get to interact with normal people is where they come out. It comes more. Obviously, they have great lines with each other, but when they interact and share their stupidity and dumbness with the outside world is when it really comes into itself. And that's why I think the Aspen should have been elongated a bit more.
Yeah, because it's for a lot of it, it's just the two guys, which is great. Don't get me wrong, but I things like actually Jeff's date with Mrs. Samsonite, where they're skiing, is brilliant.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah,
and it should be more of that. The two lads interacting with other people, and shenanigans ensue.
Yeah. Well, we have to mention the next scene as well because they stop off at Dante's Fiery Pepper Diner.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys try and eat it? And they eat it, and this is another scene that I remember just gasping, laughing at. And I laughed.
Mustard and ketchup. Oh, the mustard and ketchup works a bit.
Yeah, and they spray mustard and ketchup because they eat one of these Dante's pepper. Anyway, he goes out and goes, "Yeah, these guys are idiots." So they're inside putting the hot peppers into his burger. "Why don't you eat up and we'll tell you all about it?"
Yeah. And they start telling him as he's about to bite into it, "Oh yeah, we're just going to Aspen to drop off the suitcase. So we don't know who she is, but it'll be nice to drop it off." And he's thinking to himself, "These guys are idiots."
Yeah.
Then he chomps, and
his reaction. But their facial reactions are just amazing. I just love them both.
Chuckling to themselves. As why don't you eat up and then we'll talk.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
But when he's going he's going red and just it's affecting him. I just love Carrey. He just kind of mouth agape, enjoying it so much. So dumb to the seriousness of it all.
Yeah.
So he falls on the floor, amazing. And he does CPR by kicking. I don't know, driving his legs.
Out with the bad, in with the good. Out with the bad.
Smashes his chest with two fists.
Yeah, with a basically a wrestling move.
Spits his salad out and starts to give him CPR.
Then he asks for his tablets and even pills.
Pills are good.
Pills are good. Yes, I have that quote down. And he gets the pills.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, they're not the right pills because Mr. Assassin Head had brought some rat poison to do the lads in. It doesn't work because he gets fed his own pills.
Yeah. And check, please.
yeah. Yeah, and then it cuts to a scene where there's cops now in the restaurant. They've scarpered, and they're talking about it. And the head cop turns to one of the deputies and says, "Did you get a make on the vehicle?" And he went, "Yeah, it's an '84 sheepdog."
Yeah. Driving an 84 sheepdog. Yeah. Anyway, next scene again we have to mention is the gas station.
Skis, huh?
Yeah, as we mentioned before.
Yours?
Yours?
Both of them.
Both of them? Yeah.
That's just amazing. That's comedy gold.
So Lloyd's in the toilet and he's reading the thing. Be here for manly love at 9:15.
2:15.
Or 2:15 a.m. Yeah. He looks at the watch. Ding!
It's like, yeah. And you got the sinister music plays and he's like, oh, crap.
Yeah. In the meantime, yeah, so he's like, then the door, 2 feet appear under the door, opens it up, it's sea bass. Now, here's another scene which is elongated a bit, which I knew was different. It's a bit more explicitness, a bit more sinister, where I think just keeping it vague and, hazy is good.
The joke where you don't really think that the guy had a chance to...
Yes.
Is better, where there isn't the concept of sexual assault, whereas what you described sounds horrific.
Well, he takes down his pants and he's got these cheetah G-string and he grabs himself. Is that in the normal movie? I don't think
No,
not.
it is not. And that would not be as funny because it's kind
terrible.
of lighthearted. Yeah.
No, it's crap. It's you don't need that extra sort of. And then there's a lot of
because there's a scene where then Jim Carrey's lying on the ground sucking his thumb and he's clearly traumatized.
Yeah,
and it's funny
yes.
in the theatrical cut because he hasn't been hurt. Or,
exactly.
He's just been scared by a large man threatening him. That's it.
And CPAS actually says to him in this unrated version, "I'm going to rape you and kill you."
See, that's not great.
No, it's terrible.
I'm really happy I didn't see that version.
Yeah, I kind of want to see the theatrical version now and sort of wipe that from my mind. Now I want to ask you something after this, but Harry's on fire outside.
Fire with a lady.
Yeah, with the lady.
But not in a good way.
No, he drops a match after lighting her cigarette. So his leg is on fire because he spilled fucking gas in the last scene. For God's sake, just give me the goddamn number.
Yeah, which doesn't work. Obviously, she just dries off.
Yeah, so he runs in, smashes Seabass into the wall, and puts his fire out in
the toilet.
Toilet. Happy place. All right, so the next scene, I think, is not in the normal scene.
It is not. They're
in the car, and Lloyd is just quiet. He's curled up in the seat, and Harry keeps pestering him about the assault that just happened to him and what he might be now and things like that. And this is the same actually. Sorry to hark back to this is the same back in the hot tub scene, because Lloyd says to him, after he says, "Oh, if you had breasts, I might blah blah blah." He said, "Yeah, you'd probably like it, you big homo." He says that in the hot tub.
Get out of town, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, no, this isn't Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, that's a different spin on the whole thing.
It's actually it makes those scenes really dark when they don't need to be. So that's
not fun.
So this van scene, he starts he I can't remember. I was kind of wiping it out of my brain, but Harry's like just constantly pestering him. He keeps on going, and then finally they're just both laughing.
See, in the theatrical version, he annoys him for about 3 seconds, and it's left alone.
Right.
Yeah. Christ.
Yeah. Anyway, they get on with driving.
Now. God damn it.
Yeah. Anyway, they get on with driving, and big gulps, huh? Well, see you later. Anyway, he drives in the wrong direction. Goes to Nebraska.
For at least 5 hours. I'm not sure how long. Yeah, on his way to Lincoln. Because he's busy holding Harry's nose instead of looking at the road, and he missed some road signs.
Yeah.
Left for Aspen, right for Lincoln.
Yeah. So Harry wakes up with the plateaus of Nebraska. No, yeah, so he has to go. John Denver's full of shit, man.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, they have an argument because Lloyd just drove halfway across the country, and we do get that. Classic.
To be honest, I can't remember the score being as good as it turns out to be. Maybe it's nostalgia, but I think the music in some places is actually very well chosen. In this case, that's a good choice.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It was timely. Again, we have this emotional moment where Carrey goes, I guess, blah blah blah. I don't make a mistake. That sort of thing.
You never make a mistake, man.
Yeah. So that's the second sort of emotional line. Anyway, Harry walks off home, and Carrey comes along on a miniature bike. Goes, yo.
Just when I thought you couldn't do anything more dumb, you go and completely redeem yourself.
Exactly. You go and do something like this.
Yeah.
Completely redeem yourself.
Yeah, and it's a great vehicle. It's a good choice. How can you upgrade from a large dog van, a miniature motorbike? Even better.
Yeah. I love it's a very small, little montage then of them making their way towards Aspen. Mm-hmm. I like their faces when they get the truck to blow the horn, and then he just wobbles or something, or his face gets scared. It's kind of funny.
I think he's genuinely scared at that point.
Yeah, probably. And I gotta go pee. Just go, man.
Just go, man.
No, it's warm.
Oh, it's warm.
And then they're finally there with frozen snot coming out of their nose, and then we're there.
We're there, dude. It was very Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, and they just follow.
Yeah, the Jim stands up and he's got Jeff stuck to his back because obviously the pee-pee has frozen.
Yeah, it's a funny
entrance. A funny moment. Yeah,
and we're finally there in Aspen. Like I don't know, there's like half an hour left, and it's like...
Yeah, like 3/4 of the movie to get to this point. And most of my notes are from this point on.
Yeah.
It's such a good part of the movie. The first half's not bad, it's good, but it accelerates at this point.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so they, there's things that happen, but the main point is they go, well, let's go and find her immediately. Okay, what's her name? I don't know. Swami, Slippy.
It's on the suitcase.
No, and he does actually say Swanson, and he just goes on.
He does.
Yeah.
And then he notices the suitcase, and it puts them off.
Oh, Samsonite. I was way off.
Yeah, and he brings that Samsonite up again later. When
he does.
I won't mention it now.
Mr. Samsonite.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Samsonite. It's good to meet you.
Anyway, this is probably the pivotal time of the movie where they are outside and they're warming their hands at a fire. And Harry goes, I can't feel my fingers, man.
Yeah, maybe you should take my second pair of gloves. And he's like, what?
You've got extra gloves? Yeah, we're in the Rockies.
Jeez. Anyway, they have a bit of a scrap, and they're beating each other over the head with the suitcase, and it goes flying. Yeah. And it pops open.
Lots of money.
Oh, wait a second. Things are looking up.
I have to mention, though, before, when Harry's got Lloyd, when his hands are around his neck.
Your hands are cold.
Your hands are freezing, Harry.
Such a good scene.
All right. Anyway, so let's basically go. Okay, let's not spend any money. We just put let's keep IOUs, keep track of the money we spend, and they just
every penny is going to be tracked.
Yeah.
Then next scene, Pretty Woman starts playing in the background, and it's a montage of the two lads spending all the bloody money.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, before that, it's Lambo gifts tips to the staff, crying into the dollar notes, and then they see the advertisement for the gala ball. And then it's the Pretty Woman montage, where they go
looking for the suits. Yeah,
they get their suits.
The amazing suits.
They get their nails done, the shave, and everything's weird, and they've got terrible bodies. So they head to the Wildlife Society, and they go in, and the guy goes, I'm sorry, this is $500 a plate. Oh, here you go. we'll take 4 plates. And then he does his mouth spray again, and he puts it into his face.
In the guy's eyeballs.
That is Nicholas, actually. That was Nicholas, the bad guy that stopped them.
He gives Nicholas back some of his own money.
Yeah.
Just to rub it in.
They go in fighting with their canes. They're going to like, play it cool, man. And play it cool. Look at the fun bags in that hose hound. I'd like to eat her liver with some fava beans and a nice bottle of Chianti.
Yeah.
All right, let's get a couple of bowls of loudmouth soup.
It doesn't stop like that.
No, it's crazy.
Just keep coming.
It's like we could basically say the entire dialogue from now on at this society thing. So they're at the bar, and he's like going, "Oh, there's Mary. Go over. I can't go. Go over and get her." And so Harry goes over.
Not nice set of hooters you got there.
I beg your pardon.
Owls, your owls. Oh,
the owls. They're beautiful. And so he basically gets. He actually tries 3 or 4 times to say, "Oh, my friend over there," and her mother-in-law, her mother-in-law or something, or mother comes over and starts badgering him, and he's just kind of going, "No,
my friend,
all right, sure, what time?" So you kind of just basically,
because clearly he wants to. He wants to take Mary on a date, and he was supposed to be bringing Harry, or bigging up Harry, but he's like, "Big up myself, Mary." Yeah.
So he goes back to Harry, goes, "Yeah, you're in tomorrow, 12:30, bar, lobby. Time for some bubbly." Dead hooter.
Bye, hooter. The one of 14 hooters in the world, apparently.
Oops.
Yep.
All right, so next day, he shows up at the bar, and Harry goes for his outing with Mary Swanson. Oh, look, Frost. And he's stuck to the thing, very much like A Christmas Story, if you've ever seen that.
There's a line that she comes out with in just before the licking of the frost. She says, I haven't got out of the house much, family problems, but I don't want to bore you with those. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, thanks."
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent.
It's those conversations, I tell you, with the normal people that are the best.
And the Todger Snowman. Don't forget the Todger Snowman.
Oh, yeah. Well, finally, she rips his head off the bloody pole.
Yeah.
And
then the snowball fight that follows directly after that is just brilliant.
It's crazy.
She chucks a little bit of snow at him, and he's like, "Oh, okay." Ups the game, and then proceeds to pretty much assault her physically, ramming her head into the ground.
It's just like they don't know how to interact with normal people. They just have themselves, they have each other, and their relationship for the entire lives has just been inappropriate and dumb, basically. So he doesn't have a clue how to react or play or do anything socially.
Every social interaction is like the 2 lads coming in with the new suits, whacking each other with the canes. That's their normality.
Yeah. Lloyd, in the meantime, is waiting at the bar, and we see the lady who was in the gas station with Harry. She sidles up to the bar and
giving out about her boyfriend.
The barman's going, "This one's on me." They're giving him a beer, and he goes, "Yippee!" And then she's telling a story. He burps in her face. Yeah. And she's like going, I love it because I use this line all the time, because she goes, "Do you know what my boyfriend said next?" And he goes, "No, and I don't care." I really like that.
It's a great line.
All right, so then basically Lloyd sees Harry dropping Mary Swanson off, so then we get into the next scene.
Oh, it's time for revenge, baby.
But I do like a line in this next sentence when Lloyd and Harry are discussing why he was stood up. And Lloyd and
I just figured she was a raging alcoholic.
There you go, that's it.
Yeah, I was wondering why you wanted to meet her at 10 a.m. in the morning. Such a great line.
Great line. So then it's Turbo Lax time.
Oh, Turbo Lax. That's something that stuck with me in my entire life.
Turbo Lax.
Yeah. It normally leaves you very quick, apparently, but...
Yeah. Drink up, old pal. So basically, Harry is going on another date.
He's a real regular guy.
So Lloyd is getting his revenge on him.
Oh, and it works.
Yeah,
He gets to the house and
Yeah.
he's upstairs and goes, "I'm just going to go in this room," because on his way driving up in the Lambo, his tummy's been going,
Yeah.
which is not a good sign.
A bit like the character in The Lady Killers. J.K. Simmons' character. He's got
Yeah, with the irritable bowels.
little IBS.
IBS. That's
So Jeff Daniels' scene in the bathroom is comedic genius.
But you were telling me there's an extension to it again in the non-theatrical version.
There is. It elongates it and loses its comedic shine a bit, but it's still okay, funny, but it just doesn't fit right. So basically what he does is he, at the end of it all, because the toilet's not flushing, let's just make sure we acknowledge the whole, ejecting of his bowels and the facial expressions he does first.
Jeff's facial expressions as is happening is just perfect, absolutely perfect. It's hilarious, absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I was just shaving.
Just shaving. Yeah, as you hear all this rattling and clanging noises, he's trying to flush the bog.
Yeah. So the thing, the scene in the unrated version is he actually rips the toilet out of the floor and pours the toilet out the window of his ejections down into the garden. And so it's funny, but it can be done without that.
My take on what you're describing is like there's a certain innocence in the theatrical version, which is kind of key to this, the innocence of the two lads.
Yeah.
But with the additions that you're talking about, it takes away that innocence and makes it something altogether less wholesome.
Yeah, they're not kind of innocent at all. Especially Lloyd comes out really bad. And then Harry annoying him after he gets assaulted, and then I don't know.
Yeah, it just makes the pair of them sound like monsters as opposed to just plain idiots.
Yeah. I'm going to need to watch this
watch the nice version.
Yeah. Anyway, Lloyd shows up and goes, "Yo, hey, remember me? No, not really. I have your suitcase. Let's go to the hotel and let's grab it." So he gets there and we cut to the part where he's doing this rehearsal speech. Yeah. And when she comes back out, I think just
jumping on that line.
I just remembered it when I was a teenager. I just thought it was so funny because he basically says, every time I see you, I feel like a schoolboy again. I just love you so much, whatever. Then I desperately want to be with you. Then when she comes out, he goes, Mary, I desperately want to make love to a schoolboy.
Brilliant.
But then
brilliant.
Then his reaction to it though is like, no, what? No.
That's not what I want to say.
What's the chances of a guy like you and a girl like me?
Not good.
1 in 1 million. So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
she obviously he hears as 1 in a million. You're 1 in a million type thing. And
yeah. Well, he's dumb, so he misconstrues it like everything else in his life.
It's time for Nicholas to turn up now, though. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Explain this part.
Yeah. So Nicholas and goon number 2 have been following the lads, and they know where he is, and we know where they are because they're not exactly being inconspicuous. They've seen them at the owl killing incident, so they obviously follow them and know where they are. So they pop up to his room with I don't know where the goon number 2 disappears at this point.
Oh yeah,
and I was kind of like, why wouldn't she come in? Why wouldn't you bring the extra muscle? But okay, it doesn't really matter. Doesn't add anything or detract from the movie. So he handcuffs the two of them to a bed and says, "Okay, give me the suitcase." And he says, "Oh, Mr. Samsonite, don't worry.
Yeah,
everything's accounted for. All these IOUs, you're good. You're golden.
It's good as money.
Good as money." Yeah.
See that one's for the Lambo. You might want to hold on to that one.
$275,000. Yeah. At this point, Mr. Samsonite isn't delighted.
No. And Harry shows up. "Oh, you're both here. Okay, I'll leave you to it. Get in here." Well, actually, no. Before that, we see the. Oops. we see the sorry, my entire DVD catalog fell down of Stick.
All 4 DVDs, was it?
Yeah. Yeah, before that we see Harry getting sidetracked in the lobby.
Accosted by the lady on the talking to Lloyd in the lobby bar.
Yes.
And who he tried to chat up in the petrol station.
Yeah. So anyway, we see him turn into the room and he gets shoved onto the bed as well, and they start fighting. And Nicholas goes, "Oh, okay, which ones?
Which of you guys want to take it first?"
Yeah, Harry's going, "All right, me, blah, blah, blah." He says something I can't remember, and then Lloyd goes, "Yeah, shoot him first then."
Oh, yeah, he starts talking about this, that Mary touched his leg. Yeah, shoot him. Yeah, you shoot him.
Yeah, so he does shoot him. And Lloyd then,
my best friend.
You shot me, then he's got, that's another emotional sort of reaction. Yeah. And then Harry steps up, fires.
Pew, pew, pew.
And then Lloyd goes, "Harry, you're alive. And you're a lousy shot."
Yeah. And then the FBI kicked the door in, and everybody hands up. Harry puts his hands up, obviously, because he's an idiot. And then Lloyd asked the question, "Oh, you got a bulletproof vest. That's great. What if they shot you in the head?" And he's like, "Yeah, what if they shot me in the head?" And then the lady from the rest stop / petrol station goes, "Yeah, there's a chance we're willing to take."
Yeah. And
we're near the end here.
Near the end, our listeners will be happy to hear as we went through every scene.
Apologies.
Well,
we enjoyed this one, obviously.
Well, yeah, it's going to happen. If we did it to Big Lebowski, we'll do it with this one, and we'll do it with other ones that we have liked in our past. We couldn't do it with Krull, sorry.
No, it doesn't have any rememberable lines, really.
Yeah, so we get there. Everybody's outside, and Lloyd has one last daydream, and when he
the husband comes out of the cop car.
Yeah. Die. Lloyd, I'd like to meet you. Might like you to meet my husband. Shakes his hand and puts
happy for you.
Yeah, squeezes it, and that's the end of that. And we fade to black, and then they're walking along the side of a road because they've got no car, they got no jobs,
got nothing.
And the bus full of bronze ladies, bikinis, stops by.
They're looking for a pair of oil boys, or
a pair of oil boys for 4 months to travel around USA with them. You're in luck. There's a town 4 miles that way. Yeah. Okay, bye.
Oh, Harry, what did you do?
What have you
Runs after the bus. Yeah. No, the town's the other way. Finn.
Done.
Done and doner.
Done and done. What do you think this movie did for comedies?
I think it was very important, actually. It set up things like something about Mary, and it did briefly have that genre, as you mentioned earlier, the "You Went There" comedy type thing. It was one of the first. And while the genre seems to be dead now, I think it was an important genre.
Yeah, for the time that it was.
And listen, at my age, when I watched this, I don't know, it was 14 or 15 or whatever. This was perfect. A teenager, I still loved the toilet jokes. Still do, to be honest. But at a 14-year-old boy watching this, it was hilarious. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. And because of that, I don't think it can age all that much for me.
Well, that's the thing.
Because it's nostalgia for me.
Yeah, exactly. I guess that's why perhaps it has low ratings on Metacritic. I think people who maybe are younger than us and have not grown up with that type of Farrelly Brothers comedic sense.
It's like Ferris Bueller. I watched Ferris Bueller as a kid, and I still love it.
Yeah.
A friend of mine watched it 3 years ago, and she said it was absolute garbage. So, yeah, I think time and a place and context is very important. And there has to be a sort of zeitgeist around certain genres of movie. which they don't work anymore, or they will only work at a certain point in time, I guess. I think this may be one of them.
Yeah. Do you we talked about Jeff Daniels and Jim Carrey's different approaches to the movie. Obviously, do you think obviously they're totally different,
Very
or are they
different
quite
actors,
similar in their delivery of their dumbness?
I think they're actually quite different. Like Carrey's approach is very physical, whereas Jeff's is more a timing thing, where he times the delivery of a line and he just gets it millimeter perfect. It's beautifully delivered. Whereas it's all facial expressions and body weirdness with Jim Carrey.
Yeah. And I think they mixed well together, and it's made for a memorable experience to watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. If they had the same approach to delivering their comedy, what's the point of pairing the two of them together? You need to play them off each other, and it really works.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage and Gary Oldman just wouldn't have done it for me.
I don't know. It would be weird. It would be much more, I don't know, Leaving Las Vegas or something like that.
Yeah, he would have delivered his lines in a quirky, sort of enunciated way, Nicolas Cage.
And Gary Oldman doing comedy? I don't know.
Well, it was the same as Jeff Daniels, and look what happened.
True.
All right, listen, plot I gave 3 out of 5. It's going to be my least rating out of 5 for this, just because it's a simple plot, but it's a good one, but nothing too crazy. And I think also that we should have a more of Aspen.
I'll give it 2.5.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the plot matters.
No. So acting, I'm giving 4.5 because it's one of my top. Like, obviously, look, it's not Schindler's List acting, but their acting makes the movie.
I give you. I'm going to say 4, and it's because of the two guys, really.
That's it.
Especially
nobody
Jeff
else matters.
Everybody else is incidental. They're just foils for their comedy. Jeff's surprisingly brilliant in this.
It's one of the best comedic duo road trip movies.
On paper, it doesn't sound like it should work, but it really does.
Yeah.
So yeah, I gave it 4. Just for those two guys. Everybody else I don't care about.
No, they don't really matter. None of them matters. I like the traffic cop.
But he's an incidental character, and he was very, very memorable in Something About Mary as well.
Yeah, and Seabass as well was. Well, he wasn't really comedic though. The guy who played Seabass was a guy called Cam Neely. He was an NHL ice hockey player. He played for the Boston Bruins.
Explains why he's a shithouse.
Yeah, big guy. Jim Carrey and Lauren Holly married after this, and were married for 1 year. Just
get out of town.
Something I had found out today. Soundtrack, I'm going to give 4 out of 5. I think it's quite apt throughout the movie.
Absolutely, I think the soundtrack is. I was surprised watching it because I only watched it today. I was surprised watching it and thinking, "Wow, the soundtrack is actually quite good." And the choice of track per scene is just like the Crash Test Dummies when the two lads are walking away from each other is just brilliantly chosen.
Yeah.
So yeah, 4 is about right.
Yeah. Beck didn't give his permission for Loser.
No.
He was asked to give Loser, and he didn't give it when he found out the name of the movie.
I don't know.
Could have been put
maybe
somewhere.
Maybe he would have after the fact.
Yeah, I think it could have fit in somewhere. Production, I'm giving 4.25 out of 5. I think everything works well together. I think
you're giving that high number because of the dog van, aren't you?
The dog van, I don't know what else. Actually, I just can't put my finger on. I guess I'm
going to be a bit more stingy. I'm going to give 3.75. Mostly, I'm giving it that because of the dog van. I just can't think of anything else where production really matters.
Well, I don't know.
It's not a big cinematography movie. Like, the lighting isn't all that important.
No,
It's a comedy, you know.
it's a comedy, but I think it's probably one of those movies where I can't really put my specific finger on it, and just I want to give it a high score because overall the movie delivers without me thinking, "Oh, that sucks." And I now have
You
better.
never once heard somebody's footprints or
No. But and also I think perhaps after watching the unrated version, I know now how crappily they could have released it, how badly they could have released it editing wise. So I think with the theatrical release, I think the tone and the level of humor is perfect. I think the unrated one is just terrible, and if they'd gone with that one, it would have sucked badly. So I want to give them kudos for not messing with that,
fixing it on the production floor before releasing it.
Yeah. So yeah, should we leave it at that then?
I believe so.
So that's think of a quote to finish off this movie. Yeah, well,
the only thing I can think of is from the Truman Show, but this isn't the Truman Show.
No. Well, before the head falls off this podcast episode of the Speedy episode, we should move on. Desson Thompson in the Washington Post gave this 10 out of 100. He says, an uneven collection of bodily...
10?
Yes. Well, let's wait till you hear what he says first.
No.
An uneven collection of bodily function jokes, facial gyrations, sexual jibes, and pedestrian slapstick. Dumb and Dumber appears to have been conceived by the leading lugheads themselves.
Harsh.
Peter Stack in the San Francisco Chronicle gave it 100 out of 100. This wacky buddy road film has a brilliant glow of intelligence behind the stupidness. It's easily the funniest movie of the year. So there you have it. It might be
the funniest movie of the year, but 100 out of 100 is just a silly mark to give anything.
Yeah, you don't like it when people give 100 out of 100.
No, you're talking perfection.
Well, my number one movie I'd put 5s for everything because it's my number one movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Even my number one movie I don't call perfect. Nothing's perfect.
No.
You strive, you aim, but you never get there.
Give 4.99.
Yeah, it tends toward perfection.
Yeah. So, we are heading into the festive season. We're going to do 2 episodes with a random Christmas movie. We have chosen, because Metacritic doesn't really have Christmas movie lists that works. So, Time Out Magazine have a list of 50 Christmas movies, and we're going to choose a random one out of that 50 for the next 2 episodes. So let's see what the random number generator comes up with first off the bat. And it's number 2, which is Die Hard.
Oh, that is Christmas.
Happy Christmas, Niall.
That is Christmas, man. That's Hans Gruber falling off the Nakatomi Tower, man.
Shoot the glass.
Such a movie. Oh my God. Yippee-ki-yay.
Yeah, people, we can have that debate whether it's a Christmas movie or not, but there's way too many.
That is not a debate.
There's way too many Christmas links in it to not call it a Christmas movie, so you can all shut up.
Yeah. To me, it's always going to be a Christmas movie, and anybody who says it isn't, well, you know what happened to Petey, right?
You know what happened to Hans Gruber's brother. Oh no, it's not Hans Gruber's brother. It's one of the bad guy's brother in Die Hard. He gets knocked off first and he goes insane. Anyway, I'm just skipping ahead to Die Hard.
It's too early to review it.
Yeah. Anyway, that'll be something to look forward to. Excellent. Great. Looking forward to that. So we'll see you in episode 38, and that was episode 37. Bye-bye.
Cheerio.